Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to Morning ABAP Ritual, where we are practicing for SAP backend technology, ABAP, OPS ABAP on HANA, ALE, iDocs, Workflow, and OData. So we'll start with why ABAP Ritual. So this is there where we are committed towards our self growth. We don't have to ignore ourselves. We have to keep our self esteem up, self confidence, competent in the marketplace. We have to get mastery in the interview questions and answer. We have to set our uh, set strong fundamentals, super strong knowledge base, immerse into the SAP backend technology, right? ABAP is the main focus over here. If we are good in ABAP, every other technology in backend like ABAP on HANA, OOPS ABAP, all those things is going to be very easy for us. So immerse into SAP backend technology. Main focus is there on the ABAP related technology, contribution and health. Some information we have: never ignore the easy and frequently asked question. Focus on the niche question. Have a regular practice for the niche question. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, or any social media, use intelligently. Declutter the digital space. Remove the unnecessary app from your mobile and turn off the unnecessary notification. Soft skill is more important than the technical skill. 80% weightage goes to the soft skill and 20% weightage goes to the technical skill. If you want to be successful in your life, this should be the combination. Okay. Helping and contributing to society is the key for success. Health, when we talk about the health, physical and mental health, both comes into the picture. We are never supposed to ignore our health because all these things comes after health only. So health is primary. Physical health, for having the good physical health, we can do yoga, walking, gym, marathon. We can take participation in marathon. Very, very important physical health. And then for the mental health, we can do pranayama, meditation, and some spiritual practices, or we can get connected with some spiritual organization like Gayatri Parivar or Raji Yoga. There are so many, right? So we can get connected with anyone so that we'll be there in the place. I'm connected with Gayatri Parivar. I love that organization. So now we will have the quick recap of our last session, what we have learned yesterday, and then we will go and learn the new stuff. And we'll practice the new stuff. So yesterday we have seen about what is the important SQL string function, concat with a space in a string, right? These are the uh, important SQL string function we have seen: left, length, lower, L pad, right? Left padding, right padding, L trim, replace, right. We have seen over there. Just for knowledge purpose, these are not going to be VBA question. This is one practical example we have taken and we understood this one. SQL inbuilt function example, this also we have seen. Then the logical function, right? This logical function, just I'm going to remove, not required. If you want to just learn, you can go and search in the Google. One more sample how the ABAP is being enriched, right? So for character operation, we have this replacement nowadays. This is just again for knowledge purpose. And this is one important question we have. What is the transparent optimization in S4HANA? So these are the new OpenSQL, reusable component, enhanced ALV, and the new tool. So these all are the pillar for the transparent optimization. Means these are the improvements were taken care mainly in the S4HANA. New OpenSQL we know, right? New syntaxes we know. Reusable components like CDS, very powerful. Enhanced ALV, enhanced ALV means IDA ALV, integrated data access ALV, right? New tool like SQLM, SQLMD. So these are the important feature, important pillar of the S4 HANA, where the where it describes about the transparent optimization. So transparent optimization is just a term, okay, which combines all these things. We understood what is EPM model. Then we have seen what are the tables for the EPM, model, uh, 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 which is implementing. So all the table is going to start with SNWD. Okay, all the table is going to be start with SNWD. So if you see some table starting with SNWD, that means you can understand those tables are the test table which is used for the EPM, you know, EPM demonstration. Very, very important question. What is a schema? We have seen it's a dedicated area in the database. That's it. It's a dedicated area in the database. Very important question. What are the different tools available for ABAP on HANA? This is again a very important question. This is again very important question. Such kind of question is frequently asked. So HANA Studio and Eclipse with ADT, right? Uh, what are the different tools for analyzing the workload? We have seen ST-AD, ST03, ST04. These are the tools, but it is having its own problem, right? SC30, SAT, ST12. Again, these are the very good tool, but it is having its own drawback. Then we came up with the solution, right? In NetWeaver 7.20, that's the SQLM and SQLM tool, right? SQLMT, not SQLMT is the different thing. Okay. SQLM and SQLMD. So here, what is the drawback of using the conventional tool like this? So we have seen these are the problem. Your production system will get slow. You have to take a various authorization from different management or system to take authorization. In non-business hour, we schedule the trace, right? When SQLM or SQLT was introduced, this is the thing, all right? What is the benefit of SQLM? These are the benefits we have seen there, and how the SQLM work. So asynchronously, this tool is going to be called, all right? What problem are being solved by SQLM tool? Means SQLM means SQL monitor tool. So these are the problem going to be solved. Why SQLM is not burden on system? So we have seen that. This is the answer, right? The data collection of the SQL monitor is implemented directly in the ABAP kernel layer in highly optimized manner to l- ensure that live operation of the SAP system is not disrupted. So when we take call about the kernel is nothing but it's the operating system of the NetWeaver system. NetWeaver, like our ABAP server, it's a kernel is the core system where all the system program, all the program which is very close towards the machine, like CPU or whatever the machine is there, right? CPU, RAM. So this kernel is nothing but it's a core of ABAP. It's a fundamental of ABAP. It's the operating system of ABAP system, right? So on this kernel itself, everything on top of kernel, everything runs. So kernel is a operating system of ABAP system, fundamental system of ABAP system. So at that level, SQL monitor has been implemented. At very basic level, it has been implemented. Because it has been implemented at very basic level, right? So performance kind of stuff, it has been taken care very well in optimized manner. And then the second one is obviously the asynchronous collection, which makes that very robust and very powerful. How to ensure if system settings for SQL monitor are activated, right? Go to RZ11 and check if the profile parameter, this one, right? So this is generally the basis, people. If you want to know that SQL monitor system setting has been activated or not, then this is the step you will have to follow. This is the basis work. This is the basis work. Now, here we don't have anything. What is OIA scenario? Okay, so yesterday we have done till here. We have created one blank PPT in order to identify, so that's fine, good. Here, what is OIA, Open Item Analysis Scenario, right? So Open Item Analysis Scenario is actually, you know, uh, is this stands for like with a customer. Suppose you have sold material with different customer, right? And with some customer, some specific amount is there than more than the specified period. Means what actually we are trying to find, that we want to understand, we want to identify the potential customer which in future there is a, there is a chance that they will not pay the money back. Suppose I am the organization, okay, and I have sold many materials to my different customer, and they are not returning my money on time. So I just want to identify those customer who is potentially risky customer, because they are not returning my money on time. So just we want to understand the pattern for those customer who is not returning my money, who is not returning a specific money. For example, all the customer, let's suppose if with some customer, if some 1000 amount is pending, so that's fine, 1000 is like that's okay. But if with some customer 1 lakh rupees of amount is pending, then this is a risk for my business. So such kind of identification, where we are going to identify that this customer can be risky, right? Because 1 lakh amount is pending with him since, let's suppose, 6 months, which is not good. We have given him the maximum time of 2 months in that he is supposed, he was supposed to uh, pay. So to identify all such kind of customers, we are going to create this, this is actually the OIA scenario, open item analysis scenario. Okay, open means this item is still open with the customer. Open item analysis scenario means it has not been, this purchase has not been closed, this transaction has not been completed, it's still open. We are going to analysis which customer is going to be potentially risky customer. So we want to identify those customer, and in future we are not going to give the products or services or whatever until and unless he is going to pay the complete amount. Okay, so in open item analysis scenario, we identify the customer which is potentially risky in terms of more than a specified time and more than the specified amount which is there with him. Okay, so here you can see that overview. A company ITEIO has various customers, and this company wants to identify those customers which can be defaulter in coming future because many of the invoices are still pending. So how we are going to identify? For example, let us suppose total amount is pending with him 40, let's put here 40 lakhs. Okay, 40 lakhs or 4 lakhs in dollar or whatever INR, right? So if total amount is pending more than this, and the total invoices, the average open day is greater than 30, that means I am going to mark that customer as a potential, risky customer. Okay, risky customer. So this is actually OIS scenario. So just understand this much. We are not going to the implementation part, that is there in my ABAP on HANA course. If you want to learn more, you can subscribe to that course. Here we will only learn the concept, and from interview point of view what is important, that only we are going to learn. So if you understand this scenario, if someone is going to ask what is the OIS scenario which was there for the demonstration purpose given by SAP. However, it is rarely asked question, but if we know, it's good, right? Or you can also, resonate some example or some your real-time example with this, and if they are going to ask that, tell some real-time example, right? So you can create your own real-time example based upon this, right? So if you understand the concept, if you know the concept, you can create. And this is how this real-time example comes, right? So here, whoever the fresher is there, it is not like that, the real-time example means the complex problem, you know, simple problem can be also the real-time example. And most of the time only simple problems in chunk, means the developer is assigned with the uh, module of the problem. He is not supposed to develop everything of a project. He is going to develop a module. For example, you will be given one function module to develop, right? For example, you will be given one a small program to develop, not a big program, not if you have worked in the generally for the fresher, so simple example you can prepare for the for 1 year of experience or 2 year of experience. If you have not worked in development project, your approach should be like such kind of example comes. And if they are going to ask for the to tell about the real-time example, till prepare some very small example that will also work. Okay, that will also work. You are supposed to tell some example, that is the important. Okay, so mm, SNWD we have seen this. Let's remove this one. What is the different standard program given by SAP to demonstrate OIA scenario, right? What is the different standard program given by SAP to demonstrate OIA scenario? So already actually this program has been written by SAP, right? To demonstrate the OIA scenario in SAP UI5 ACPM underscore YA DFG underscore TP. No need of remembering all these things. Just know that SAP has given some set of programs. If you want, you can you know just see once RSOIA BOPA figures, very famous program in a BAP report, right? Very famous program. Whenever we have to take any reference, we go generally to this program, how SAP has developed using the new OpenSQL, AMDP, CDS, right? This program has been developed in all the different flavors which you can think. Okay, and it gives the option. There is a transaction. If you go over there, it will give you the option to run this particular report using the CDS, using the AMDP, using the ADBC, or the different, uh, what are the different techniques? CDS, AMDP, ADBC, new OpenSQL, right? Information model. So these are the 5 techniques. It will come under the drop down, and this program you can run by selecting the different, uh, different way, and you can compare the performance, how it's going to be. So this is, generally what we go and do there. There is a transaction, I will let you know. Okay, or it will be here somewhere. Uh, Implementation and all, this is not required. Yeah, here what are the different approach to measure the ABAP runtime? Okay, so this is just a question for our knowledge purpose. Okay, from interview point of view, don't focus on this. So here ABAP runtime measurement, right? You can see that ABAP runtime measurement. Earlier what we used to do, get runtime field data and get runtime field data between two, start the timer and end the timer. So this is how the earlier we used to do the conventional approach. In the object oriented way, what you can do, you have one class called CL ABAP runtime. It will start the timer. Okay, it will start the timer. So CL underscore ABAP runtime, create HR timer, and this L underscore timer is going to be object. It's going to be created object when you are going to call this static method. So it's in return it will give you the object and it will assign over L underscore timer, and timer get runtime and again get runtime. So one is for a start and another is for end, and the difference you are going to find LV underscore end and minus LV underscore start. So this is the step you have to follow if you are going for the object oriented way. If you have to find the total time taken by some set of statements or by a complete program. So first step, start the timer by calling this static method of this ABAP runtime, then get the start time and then get the end time. So this is what you'll have to do. Okay, the get runtime is the method. Okay, so just for knowledge purpose. Okay, then uh, still the first priority goes to the OpenSQL. We know the second the CDS and AMDP, then the information model, right? So this we know. Let me remove this information model. See, this information model concept has been like obsolete concept, but there is one view under the information model called the calculation view, that is now it is also used very frequently in BI or BW project. Okay, So if you understand about the concept of information model, it will be a added advantage. However, as a ABAPer, it is not very big concern. It's a normal and it does not come under the frequently asked or VVI questions answered. But just to understand, if you know, it's good, right? However, from interview point of view, you don't have to put more focus. Okay. So information model, what is information model? Its main feature, benefit, and usage. So when HANA came into the picture initial days, this information model was a very big focus of the SAP, where SAP was putting a lot of effort. But soon they realized that there are so many drawbacks of information model. Okay, so they they stops working in that much potential as it started of working, because they realize that okay, this is good, but from above point of view, this is not that much useful. Okay, so information model is, it's a graphical way of representing the model. It's a graphical way of representing the model. Whenever we talk about the model, you have to understand the data model. The synonym of model is data. Whenever we talk the model, that means data. Information model means you are going to model the data, means you are going to model the table in graphical way. Okay, you can put the join in graphical way, so it's very easy to develop in fact, but it loses the flexibility. Okay, if you have to write the complex business logic, this is not the place where you can do. Okay, but for the functional people and all, this information model, because it's a graphical editor based tool, it's easy to do the inner join, it's easy to do the outer join, right? So let's try to understand what is information model. This is a graphical way of fetching the data from different tables using the inner join or different types of join. uh, Using the basically it supports the inner join. We'll see there are four types of join which is supported by this: inner join, differential join, text join, and there is one more. Okay, we don't require much technical knowledge if we are going to implement the information model. Function knowledge will be sufficient. It's very easy to use. Main purpose of the information model is it is to hide the technical complexity and make easy for the functional people or people having less or no technical knowledge to get the data from various table using the join and applying the conversion, right? Information model, it is to use to convert the linear structure into multi-dimensional structure without technical knowledge, right? This is graphical way. So if suppose someone is going to ask in interview what is information model, so just remember one keyword: graphical representation. If you remember this one keyword, I think your answer is going to be sufficient. Okay, your answer is going to be sufficient. Just remember graphical representation. That's it. If you tell this word graphical representation of fetching the data on creating the model, your work is done. Okay. There are so many points, at least one point: graphical representation. That's the graphical word should be there. That's it. It is used to convert the linear structure into multi-dimensional structure without technical knowledge. This is graphical way of fetching the data from different tables using the inner join, because it's getting used at DB layer. So we are leveraging the power of HANA DB, right? Directly we do this modeling at a database level. Directly we do this modeling at database level in HANA Studio. Okay, so it's a one of the like initially it is one of the very popular code push down technique, right? Very powerful code push down technique. A person having no coding skill, right, he can also leverage the power of HANA, and that's why calculation view is still so popular in BI and BW. Calculation view is a comes under the information model only. So there are there are four types of view actually comes under the information model. One is attribute view, another is analytical view, The third one is the calculation view, and the fourth one is the decision table. So all these fours comes under the information model. This question I will again ask to you in the later slide. You will have to tell, okay, so that you will be able to remember what comes under the information model. Okay. So see here, we can say multiple DB hit and a small set of data. That's true. Complex logic also can be written. So see here, complex logic, we cannot leverage that much complex logic. It's a limit. It is having the limitation. However, we have written there, they have given some functionality to write the complex logic. But again, like, it is quite difficult. Okay. However, in calculation view, you can write some complex logic. So we'll see like where it is getting, it's having the bigger drawback. Okay. So what is information model? What are the different views under the information model? You'll have to give this answer. So what is the information model we have just seen over here, right? Just try to write this answer in your own word over here. Okay. Just try to write your answer in your own word over here. What is information model? Okay. So what you understood before the previous discussion, just write in your word, some 2 or 3 word. Okay. So I want you to write over here. Okay. And then the another question will be, what are the different views under information model? So first write the answer of the first question, and then we'll go for the second question. Write it fast over here. In some words, you have to just explain about the information model. So I'm not getting any response. Are you writing or are you okay? Yeah, good, Jen. Graphical representation of data and facts. Good. So information model is nothing but when we have to fetch the data from the database table, that we are going to pull the data from the different table by presenting them graphically, by putting the inner join graphically, right? So very good, Jayant, Omprakash, thanks. So here, this is actually what I wanted to, uh, uh, put more focus on the graphical representation of the table using the inner join. Okay, graphical representation of the table with inner join. That is nothing but the information model, and this is one of the very powerful code push down technique. Okay, and still calculation view is so so powerful calculation view. So let's see here. These are 3 types of as below: attribute view, analytical view, calculation view, and there is one more called decision table. Okay, that decision table comes under the planning scenario. So decision table comes under the planning scenario. However, attribute, analytical, and calculation view comes under the real time scenario. This decision table comes under the planning scenario. Okay, so basically these are 4. Okay, come over here. Which engines correspond to which views? So actually this because it is implemented at the database layer, right? All the view. So there are 3 types of information model, right? There are 3 types of information model right here in the chat box. What are, just have a little practice over here, right here in the chat box, right? I'm giving some time to you right here. What are the different types of information model you have over here? Okay, so just right over here. Yeah, good. Yeah, attribute, analytical, and calculation. Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. So all the 3 just type over here in the chat box. All the 3 just type here in the chat box. Okay. Everyone type here in the chat box. Good. So types of information model, right? Types of information model: attribute view, analytical view, calculation view. Here you can see that we have written the same thing, right? And this comes under the real-time scenario, all these 3, and the decision table comes under the planning scenario, right? Decision table comes under the planning scenario. Okay. Here attribute view, if you see the database, if you see the database over here, in the database you have the join engine, you have the OLAP engine, you have the calculation engine, right? In the database you have three types of engine: join engine, OLAP engine, and calculation engine. All these are there in the index server: join, OLAP, and calculation engine. This attribute view is very much suitable if you have to put the join on two tables. This attribute view is very much suitable if you have to put the join on two tables or more than two tables. Okay, once again, this attribute view is very much suitable if you have to put the join on two tables or more than two tables, right? One key point over here: attribute view is suitable for putting the join on two or more than two tables, but on what kind of data? Okay, so it is suitable for master data kind of table. Okay, so if you want to join the table consisting of master data, attribute view is good. We can go for attribute view. Okay, we can go for attribute view. So if you want to join the table consisting of master data, right, then we can go for attribute view. Why? Because for attribute view, why? Because for attribute view, whenever you create the attribute view, there is a dedicated engine in the database that is going to run, that is going to execute. That engine is known as the join engine. That engine is known as the join engine, right? That engine is known as the join engine. Right here, that attribute view uses the join engine, right? That's why it is going to be very fast, because all this, all these categorized under the different view. All these are categorized under the different view, and all the different views are going to run on the different engine. And because it's going to run on the different engine, onto the specific engine, all those engine have been optimized with respect to that particular view. Okay, all these engine have been optimized with respect to that particular view, and that's why it's going to be powerful, right? Just we have to be careful what which data and what kind of data we have to use and how we have to use. So suppose if you have to put the join on multiple master data table, then we can go for the attribute view, and here you can see that, right? If you have to combine the multiple master data table with the transaction data table, then you can go for the analytical view. Okay, if you have to combine the multiple master data table with, a transaction data table, then you can go for the analytical view. And for analytical view, you have what engine over here? OLAP engine, right? OLAP engine, you have online analytical processing engine, right? Analytical view. Calculation view, we have the calculation engine dedicated for this calculation engine, right? So if you want to join the multiple analytical view together, then we can use this calculation view. Okay, so attribute view to join two or more than two master data table, analytical view to join attribute view and transaction data table. Whenever we tell the attribute view means what? Master data table, right? So that's why instead of telling the master data table, you can also tell attribute view and a single transaction data table, and when the multiple transaction data table comes, that means the multiple analytical view you need to join, then the calculation view comes into the picture, right? So this is how attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view have. Once again, attribute view is to join the multiple master data table. Okay, attribute analytical view is to join multiple master data table and single transaction table. Calculation view is to join multiple master data table and multiple transaction data table. This is for the calculation view in the simple language. Okay. This decision table is used for the planning scenario. We'll discuss this one. Again, this calculation view is of two types. One is the graphical calculation view and another is the SQL script based calculation view. This is going to be faster than this the graphical calculation view. We will explore more in later slides. Okay. What is the different types of attribute view? What is the different types of attribute view? So there are three types of attribute view. One is the standard, another is the time, and third one is the derived attribute view. Okay. So standard means it is just to define the relationship between two or more than two dimensions, right? Or master data table, the simple one, the by default one. Time, if you want to, if you want some information specific to the time dimension, then the time, time view. And the derived attribute view, suppose if you have one attribute view already created and based on from that attribute view, you want to derive some specific attribute view. It's like a subclass. Okay, it's like a subclass. Okay, more specific version of the superclass, more specific version of this attribute view. So this is the derived attribute view. Here you can see that at employee master and at associate engineer info. So attribute view, AT means attribute view. Whenever you create the attribute view, you have to start with AT. This is the naming convention, AT. Okay, generally we follow attribute view, attribute employee master, and attribute associate engineer info. So this particular view is going to derive from this. Okay, so this is the example for third. Actually, this is the example for third. Okay, derived attribute view. And time, if you want to have some specific information like within some time frame, how many materials are created, right? So if you want to find within some time frame how many materials are created, materials is a master data, right? And if you want to join the time with the master data table, then this will come under the time attribute view. Okay, this is one very VVI question. And let me do one thing before going here. Let me explain these slides. This is important, and then we will go ahead. Okay, then we'll go to that question. Yeah, let it be here. Okay, fine. Mm, these slides. So here in these slides, actually, we have example of attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view. Attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view. So let's try to understand this. Okay. See here, you have the sales representative, right? Here you have product text and vendor, you have the time, and here you have the customer, right? So this customer master data, sales representative is the master data. Here also you have the master data. Here also you have the master data, right? So all these master data is combined together. This is known as the attribute view. Okay, and if you want to combine this master data with this transaction data, you have the sales measure, right? So this is also known as the fact table. Okay, this is also known as the fact table. So if you want to see like how much transaction, right? If you want to uh, combine, if you want to put the join on KNA1 customer master data with the BBAK and BBAP, right? Then it's going to be analytical view. But if you want to put the customer master data, that means KN1 with the material master data. So both here is what? Master data. So if we're going to join the two master data, that means that is attribute view. Okay. This is here, you can see that this is the attribute view. And when you are combining with this major cells like BBAK or BBAP, right? Then this is known as the analytical view. Here, see the analytical view is written. Again, here you have with respect to customer, right? And the same thing with respect to what you have over here, purchase, right? Purchase is again a measure or fact, right? How much amount you have purchased, right? So whenever you are talking about how much amount you have purchased, that means the vendor will comes into the picture, purchase department will comes into the picture, product or text. These all are the what? These all are the master data. So here again the master data is combined together. That means what? So combined together means attribute view. And when we are going to combine with the purchase or purchase measure or fact, that means the EKKO or EKPO table, right? Purchase order header table or purchase order item table, then it will again become the analytical view. So you want to compare your total sales and total purchase. For that purpose, you can use the calculation view. So here you can see that here we have the purchase view, right? Here we have the purchase view. Completely this is a purchase view. Here we have the purchase view, and if you see here, this is you have the sales view, right? And if you want to compare both, how much you have done the purchase, how much you have uh, sold a particular product, right? How much product you have purchased, how much you have sold, then you can go for the calculation view. Calculation view is one which is going to combine the multiple analytical view. So this is a single, this one box is the single analytical view. Okay, this is a single analytical view, and if we're going to combine two analytical view together, it will become your calculation view. So calculation view is generally for the purpose of comparison, right? You can see here. So some more technical stuff it is there. Let me read it out. When we combine dimension or master data table with the fact table or transaction data, then it forms a design. This design is known as a star schema, and a star schema represents the analytical view. Okay, so you can see that it looks like a star. So these all are what? These are the master data table, and the master data table with respect to transaction we are looking over here means how much total sales was done, how much total sales was done by a sales representative, how much total sales of a particular product was done, right? How much total sales to a particular customer have been done, how much total sales within some time frame have been done, right? So for a single fact is having four different perspective, right? And you can look, it looks like a star schema. It looks like a star, and this design is known as the star schema. This design is known as the star schema. It looks like a design. A single fact table we are representing with different dimension, right? With a different dimension, these are dimension. Okay. Here also a single fact purchase we are able to, you know a single factable purchase we are looking from the different dimension, from how much we have bought from a vendor, within how much time we have purchased, right? Which product we have purchased more, or how much quantity we have purchased, which purchase department, right? Which purchase department has purchased more, right? We can have the multiple purchase department for different purpose of purchasing, right? So in this way actually, you know it is going to form the star schema. So you can see that one star schema you are combined with another star schema, that is another definition of the calculation view. So in form of a star schema also we can define the calculation view. Okay, in form of analytical view, if you want to define the calculation view, how we define? Two or more than two analytical view when we join together, that is known as calculation view. In form of star schema, if you tell, when more than when more than one star schema if we're going to join together, that will form the calculation view, right? So that is the thing over here. You can see that single star schema is nothing but your analytical view, right? Joining multiple star schema is nothing but your calculation view, and node of the star schema is your attribute view, right? These nodes are what? Nodes, if we're going to combine together, then it will become your attribute view. See here, sales representative and product is combined together. That means here it's forming the attribute view. So hope you got a little bit idea, little bit understanding about the information model, right? Just write here in the chat box if you got some idea about the information model over here. If you just write over here, yes. Yeah. So if you got this much idea, from interview point of view, this is sufficient. Okay, because no one will go deeper inside, not required nowadays, right? Not required nowadays. And even I'm doubtful if they are going to ask the question, but you don't know, right? So at least the basic understanding, if we are going to have, it's going to help us. Okay. So uh, we will just stop here only today, and tomorrow we'll start with this question. Okay, very very interesting and very very important question. Hmm, this. So already we have seen this one. Again, a kind of revision. This different category data, we know that organization data, master data, and transaction data. Let me delete this. Okay, fine. I will just you know uh, clean and clear the slides before the class, and then we will just go ahead and we'll see the important question tomorrow. Okay, so thanks for attending the session, and let's meet tomorrow. uh, and whoever is willing to stay here and take participation and in interview, you are most welcome. Let me share the link with you. So just give me a second. I'm going to share the link, and you can take the interview or you can give the interview. So just a second. Yeah, please fill this form fast, and I'll share this as well with you so that you will get the phone number and all. So actually what I'm planning now, that here from our community over here who is regularly attending, sometimes, like, if you are also willing to take this session, you who is having the good amount of experience, at least 6 or 7 or 8 years of experience, like that, you can just go and take the session. Okay, I will make you the host and you can take the session. So sometimes I might not be available, but I want this practice to be done on a regular basis. So some days in a week, I will, you know uh, do this one, and you can also prepare. I will share this, this PPT with you, and or you can just prepare and you can, you know you can take this session. Okay, so actually we all are learning together over here, like that. No one is here teacher, or no one is here, you know we all are learning together. In that mode, actually, I'm thinking to take it. So her case is attending regularly, so maybe her case, if you are like, if you are interested to take the class, sometimes, you are most welcome. Okay, so whoever such kind of people, like, who is interested to take this ritual and lead over here, I will be very much happy to come over here and take the session, you know and just guide the one who is like, guide to each other, in fact, or at least freshers are going to get more advantage, right? So it will be a kind of help. Okay, so it's a polite request, it's a humble request. Please, you can join in order to take the session. It's a open, anyone can take, but just have some experience, so it will be, good command and good understanding. Okay.